Hello everybody, I'm Chaitali Sarkar and welcome to my show Paradise Regained. From useless to utility, from worthless to worthwhile, from eyesore to eye-catching, from junk to beauty. That's how I define creativity, and I'm sure all of you too have a spark of it. Come, let me help you ignite the spark. Today's program is on revamp and recycle. Let me help you show how I pepped up this dull and drab wall. I've given myself a winter period of 3 months to get my paradise back. The rains aren't allowing me to do much with gardening, especially with germination, etc. So I thought, let me start off with one side of the garden, and that's this wall. As we enter, you see this beautiful beauty that I have over here. As the roads were being widened, a number of these majestic beauties fell to the axe. I took permission from the administration and brought her home, not knowing what I would want her for. I've just upturned it. As you can see, these are the roots. I supported it with pebbles and stones, and presto, you've had this fantastic pot organizer, if I may add so. And if you may note so, I have not tarnished it with paint or even varnish. I try to keep it as natural and close to nature. You can arrange pots of your choice the way I have. Come, let me take you to the wall itself. When I moved into the house, the wall was a shade of a pale peach. Yes, it was a pretty shade, but it wasn't doing anything for my beautiful greens. That's when I went experimental and painted it this dark color. And wow, how beautifully it's complementing the colors of the various shades of green. And if you could see this black rod over here, we were having some change of the pipe with the water supply. I kept this pipe again, not knowing what I would want it for. I went to this local welding shop, welded these hooks, and here you have. It's a great stand for these hanging pots. And the pearl pet bottles, I suppose they're easily available everywhere. I spoke to my local caterer who was more than willing to part with them. He thought I was mad and crazy. I thought I was creative. In one of my episodes, I'll show you how I went about doing these planters. Next coming down are these. Much in vogue, much in fashion, and much talked about. This arrangement that you're seeing, this is called vertical gardening or wall gardening. Especially those working on balconies or terrace the way I am, and I have a vacant wall, you could go experimental with this. These structures are not recycled. I've had to purchase them. Come, let me show you how it's done. It's a structure like this, and you nail or you screw it, and these pots are, you can just fit them so easily. There is a very tiny hole there. Suggestion is not to block it. And into this I have put my favorite garden soil mix. For those of you who haven't watched my episode on my favorite or the ideal soil mix, you could tune in and watch that. I've used that, and I put a fair bit of cocoa peat. Now why I have used cocoa peat is just to make it a little light and to help the cuttings grow. Now when I'm talking about recycle, I actually mean even to these plants. None of the plants that you see over here, and I think there are a fair number of it, none of them have been purchased. I've been fortunate that I have all the parent plants, and all that I've done is just take a cutting, put it over here, and the monsoons have given me this bit of the green. However much we are critical of the rains, trust me, the rains are an elixir to the plants. Now getting back to this planter, it is this simple to get it in place. I have put 3 of them, and if you see, I've broken the monotony. Now, if you are not so fortunate to have so many varieties of plants, or you could choose any one. As you will notice in the hotels, they have something as common as money plant. Can you imagine cascades of money plant coming down? Fantastic shade of green, or the variegated one that I have over there, and against a dark backdrop, it will truly do wonders. Now, I was not at a liberty to do much but to paint the wall. Those of you who are fortunate to have your own houses, my suggestion would be either you paint it a dark shade, or you could have tiles. Oh, there are varieties of ceramic tiles and terracotta. You could arrange that and have part of it colored, and you could get experimental. Gardening is not rocket science. Do not get intimidated, just let your creativity run wild, and you could pep up anything. Do not throw away your things which you think are useless. You could put them to fantastic use. And now coming to this, there was some carpentry work going on at home. Some bit of the ply was left, and I made this Verde House. I've painted in acrylic color. The rains haven't spoiled it, and with the 3D liner I have done up the ceiling, and if you can call it the roof, and I have put the note that the birds would tell me, love your garden, love you birdies too. And so this wall is all ready to be a showstopper. Now, for those of you who do not or will not have access to a tree root the way I have, I give you some suggestions. If you've got plywood or any piece of wood left because of some carpentry work at home, you could create a stair. Can you imagine keeping it like this and place your favorite planters over there? Or you could make it like a ladder, and on the rung of each ladder, which is quite wide, place planters of your choice and make it in decreasing or increasing order. Or even simpler, make it like a victory stand, or the first and the second and the third. And the reasons for telling you all this is, let this wall go 3D. We don't want it to go flat. If you see, I've arranged a lot of plants in different positions. There are different shades of green, and you'll see they are placed at different heights and different levels. That's just to make it more lively. Or you can buy the wrought iron ones. They are also very good pot stands and pot holders, and they look classy and not so space occupying. And if you have a small balcony, you could go experimental with the wall, and you could have puppets hanging. Now, I am not at a liberty of doing it because of the rains, but I'm sure when the winters are there and it becomes dry, I too will be hanging some puppets or some other beautiful things just to pep up and brighten up the wall. So this was my episode on revamp and recycle. Do let me know how you liked my show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Copy the link and paste it on your WhatsApp group or even on your FB and Insta wall. That'll be very motivating and encouraging for me and for all your friends to believe that gardening is truly simple and easy. Here's signing off, and until then, do check on my next video that's coming up on pots and planters, while I tell you how I made beautiful planters of these bottles, and will also advise you which is the best planter for your plants. Here's signing off, Chaitali Sarkar from Paradise Regain, and happy gardening.